Good Erev Shabbos, everybody. In Parshas Va'eira, we have the first 7 of the 10 plagues. And we know from Pesach, the Haggadah, that the plagues are divided up into various sections. The Tzach, Hadash, Ba'achav. The first 3, and the next 3, and then the last 4. And why is it exactly that our sages took Dam Tzvadei Akinim, the plague of the blood, the plague of the frogs, the plague of the vermin? Why is it that they joined them all together? What exactly was indicated by the fact that we have these categories? In addition, we find that Hashem says to Moshe at the beginning of the first 3, then plague number 4, and then plague number 7. Hashem says to Moshe, Hashkeim ba'boker, you should arise in the morning, and then you shall go before Paro, and you shall tell Paro the following, whatever Hashem is indicating to him. And by these 3, the introduction of these 3 categories, go to Paro. Paro is going out to the water, stand there in front of him firmly, with confidence, and deliver these words. So says the God known to the Jewish people, send out my children, my nation, and they will serve me. Why is it that this particular form is used at the beginning of these 3 categories? In addition, we find something else which is very interesting, that when this warning to Paro is delivered by the introduction to the first plague, that of the blood, the Nile and all the waters turning to blood, here Hashem says that you shall tell Paro that this is what shall take place, and the water shall turn to blood, the fish are going to die, and b'zois teida ki ani Hashem. With this you will know that I am Hashem, that I am God. All right, that makes sense. Then we come to the 4th plague, in which Hashem again tells Moshe Rabbeinu that he should go before Paro, and he should give Paro this warning, and that they're going to be the orayv, the stampede of these wild beasts that shall come through all of Egypt. But here Hashem says, L'man teda, in order that you will know, Ki ani Hashem, that I am God, b'kerev ha'aretz, in the midst of the land. This is something different. The first time Hashem just said, you will know that I am God. And the second time he says, you will know that I am God in the midst of the land. And then we find, finally, when Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu to go to Paro and tell him that there will be the plague of hail with the incredible rain, the storm, and the lightning and the fire that came down. And here you will tell Paro that this plague shall come upon you, ba'avur teda, in order that you should know, ki ein kamayni b'chol haaretz, there is none like me in all of the land. So here, by each of these categories, we find this introduction, and this introduction in the 3 places seems to have a very subtle difference. The first one, you'll know I'm God. The second one, you will know I'm God in the midst of the land. And the third one is that there's nothing else like me. What exactly is the message that's being conveyed by these differences? We also find that by the plague of the Barad, that it tells us that not only was there hail, not only was there incredible rain, not only was there lightning, not only did the hailstones that were huge have fire within them, which the fire and the hail are diametrically opposed and they coexisted to perform the will of their creator, but we also find that when it began to hail with this storm, that there were incredible kailas, thunder that would shake the foundation of every edifice. And it says, Hashem nasan kailas ubar vati halech eish arza. Hashem gave the thunder and the hail and the fire that came down to the earth, and Hashem rained down on the land of Egypt this hail. the first thing that the verse mentions is the incredible thunder. The thunder frightened anyone who heard it. They trembled. As a matter of fact, when Paro calls Moshe and he says to him that I have sinned, God is the tzaddik. Please pray to God. Enough of this thunder, this godly thunder and the hail. We see that Paro was more concerned with the thunder than anything else. The thunder is very frightening, but the hail was destroying people who were outside. If the hail hit them, it destroyed them, it killed them. What is it about the thunder? And one final thought. When Paro is warned by Moshe Rabbeinu that now you're going to have this plague, and you will know that there is none other than God in the land, in the universe, then Hashem says, Hashem says that I apologize for the interruption, a little technical difficulty. Hashem says to Paro that I could have destroyed you when I brought the plague upon the beasts. I could have destroyed you thoroughly. But the reason I didn't is that I wanted to keep you here so that you will witness my strength, my power, and that my name will be famous. Throughout all of the world and all generations, they will speak about the incredible miracles that God performed at the Exodus of Egypt. Why is it by this plague of the Barad, Hashem informs Paro that he could have destroyed him at any of the plagues? Why now? The Kli Yakar tells us that in Parshas Shemos, when Moshe first goes to Paro and says that the God of Israel has said, let my children go and they will worship me in the desert and bring offerings. And what did Paro say? Paro said, Mi Hashem asher eshma b'kola. Who is this Hashem that you speak of, that I shall hear his voice, I shall listen to him? Lo yodati es Hashem. I don't know this Hashem that you speak of. Paro didn't know that there's a God. The Egyptians had many gods. But we find that it's the name of Hashem, which is what God was revealing now and for all eternity, is that he is not just the creator. He is not just the one who brings judgment, but God is the one who creates and sustains and is involved in human affairs and supervises and knows every deed and every thought and every word of every individual and everything that takes place in the entire universe. It's beyond human comprehension. And God is filled with compassion and love. And this is what Paro says. This Hashem that you speak of, I know there's creators, there's forces, there's power, there's judgment. This that you speak of, I don't know this. I don't know that there is one creator and no other forces, and this creator sustains and maintains and provides and is aware of everything that is happening. I don't know this God. I have no idea. I've never heard of this, and I don't know this God. What Paro was saying is something that we hear all too often. I don't believe in the existence of this God of Israel that you speak of. I don't know this God. I don't think he exists. And if he does exist, and if he did create the world all by himself, I don't believe that he is involved in human affairs. I don't believe he supervises and is aware and is even interested in what takes place amongst man. God created the world, perhaps, and he programmed it. Call it nature, call it this, call it that, whatever it is, he's not involved. And even if there is this God you speak of and he created the world, and he is aware of what takes place amongst mankind, but he certainly is not the only divine force that exists. There are others, just like there's a sun, there's a moon, all these incredible forces that exist. It didn't come from just one source. There are numerous forces. I don't know this God that you speak of, Moshe, when you say there is one God, one creator, one supervisor, only one who is in total control. I don't know this God at all. And this is what Hashem told Moshe, Atosir, at the end of Parsha Shmos. Now you will see what shall be done to Paro, because the plagues were designed not just as judgment against the Egyptians, but it came to refute Paro's statement. Paro, you're speaking Lashon Hara when you say, who is this God? I don't know this God. Make life even more miserable for the Jews. Increase their hardship and their labor. Paro, now you will see that number one, there is a God. These are the first three plagues. These are the plagues of the category of the tzach. And that's why God tells Moshe to go to Paro and tell him that now you will see and know, Ki ani Hashem, that I am the creator. I am the sustainer. I exist. You will see that through the first three plagues. And then Hashem tells Moshe to go to Paro again, stand firmly in front of him, and tell him now, Paro, with the next three plagues, you are going to see not only that I am God the creator, but I am God b'kerev haaretz, in the midst of the land, which means that I am aware of every iota that takes place in the universe. That I am here and I am aware of your deeds. I'm aware of your speech. I'm aware of your thoughts. I know what is happening amongst all of humanity and all of creation. And with the last three plagues prior to that of the hail, Hashem says, and should you think, Paro, that, okay, there's a creator, okay, he's aware, but he's not the only one. There are other divine forces that exist that can intervene on our behalf. Hashem says, now, Paro, you will see that Ein Kamoini. Not only am I the creator, the sustainer who was aware and involved in human affairs and affairs of all that exists, there is nothing else. Hashem Echad, I am one. Nothing else exists. No other forces. And Paro, because you spoke, you used your power of speech in which you denigrated, insulted God. Moshe said to God, when Paro increased the hardship, he said, from the minute I came and I invoked your name, Paro only made life more miserable. Not only did he not show respect for your divine holy name, but Paro insulted you, God. It was a desecration of your name. And therefore Hashem says, now you're going to see you use the power of speech, your voice, to insult and desecrate the holy name of God. Now you will hear the power of sound that comes from God. Mida kineged mida, measure for measure. In addition to the hail, in addition to the rain, in addition to the fire and the lightning, there will be earth-shaking thunder. You will hear a sound, Paro, because of the sound that emanated from your vocal cords, and it will humble you. We see after this plague, Paro says, Hashem HaTzadik, God is righteous, Ani ve'am Yerushalayim, I am my nation, we're wicked. Paro was humbled. He was so frightened. And that's why at this particular plague of the Bara, this is where Hashem says, Paro, you think I could not have destroyed you when I made the animals die from the pestilence? You think I could not have destroyed you when the waters of the Nile and all the waters in Egypt turned into blood? Of course I could have. You think that there's some other divine forces intervening on your behalf? Paro, Now you will see with the last category, beginning with the bara, the hell, that ein kameini, there is nothing else. You will see what the Jews proclaim, Shema Yisrael, hear, comprehend that Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem is our God, He's involved in our lives, He supervises, He knows, and Hashem Echad, He is all alone. There is no oneness like His oneness. He is the only true reality. This is the message, and this is the tachlis, the purpose of the plagues. God could have brought one plague, He could have paralyzed the Egyptians, and the Jews could have gone free. But the plagues were more than that. It was not just retribution and a means of freedom and liberation. The plagues was an opportunity to plant the seeds that should take deep root in the heart of Klal Yisrael and all mankind. These three basic ideas. God exists. He is involved and aware, and there is nothing else. No matter what human beings do or human beings plan, no matter how smart and creative we are, the only realistic, true, eternal force is that of God Himself. And everything that we do is done only with the permission and supervision of our Creator. These are the three basic principles in Judaism as outlined in the 13 principles of our faith. There is God. He exists beyond our comprehension. God knows and is aware of everything that takes place, and He has communicated, He's amongst us and communicated to us through His true prophets and given us His Torah, and there is nothing else, nothing else. This message of the plagues, this message of the Exodus is probably more important today than ever before. We live in a society today in which the knowledge of God is scorned and left, and people are doing what they can to erode and destroy religion. But we know in our hearts and we know in our souls that the word of the Torah is the absolute truth. We feel it, we know it, we sense it. There is God. He is with us, and He is one. And just as God redeemed and delivered us from our suffering in Egypt, God will again redeem us from our suffering in this very long, difficult exile, the fourth and final exile. Sometimes it's not easy to have faith, but then again, without faith, we really have nothing. Stay happy, my friends. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay Jewish. Have a good Shabbos.